They say we all came from a garden, a place so perfect it makes Disneyland look like a rundown theme park. But what if that garden had a bit of a snake problem? And what if the first couple wasn't quite as innocent as we've been led to believe? Get ready to unearth some seriously juicy secrets about Adam and Eve. You won't believe fact number 3. The Genesis account and its interpretations. The story of Adam and Eve in the book of Genesis is the foundational narrative of humanity's beginnings according to Jewish and Christian traditions. It paints a picture of the first man and woman, created by God, placed in a perfect garden, and given a single command: don't eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. This seemingly simple instruction becomes the crux of the story, leading to their fateful decision to disobey. The serpent, often interpreted as a symbol of temptation or evil, plays a crucial role in coaxing Eve, and subsequently Adam, into taking a bite of the forbidden fruit. This act, known as the fall, has profound implications, resulting in their expulsion from Eden and the introduction of sin, suffering, and mortality into the world. Interpretations of this Genesis account vary widely, offering different lenses through which to understand its meaning. Some view the story as a literal historical account of creation and humanity's fall from grace. For them, Adam and Eve were real individuals, and their disobedience directly caused the brokenness we see in the world today. This perspective often emphasizes the need for redemption and salvation, as outlined in later religious texts. It's a straightforward reading that resonates with those who value a literal understanding of Scripture. Others interpret the Genesis narrative more allegorically or symbolically. They see Adam and Eve not necessarily as historical figures, but as archetypes representing the entirety of humanity and the universal human experience of choice, temptation, and consequence. In this view, the Garden of Eden symbolizes a state of innocence or perfect harmony, and the fall represents the inevitable transition from childhood innocence to adult awareness, with all its complexities and struggles. This interpretation allows for a broader understanding of the story's relevance to the human condition, regardless of one's beliefs about literal creation. It's a way to explore themes of free will, responsibility, and the nature of good and evil that are timeless. Furthermore, the Genesis account has been a source of much theological debate and philosophical inquiry. Questions about God's foreknowledge versus human free will, the nature of original sin, and the role of women in religious traditions are all deeply intertwined with this foundational story. Different branches of Judaism and Christianity have developed distinct theological frameworks to address these complex issues, leading to a rich tapestry of interpretations that continue to evolve. Even the identity of the serpent sparks endless discussion. Was it a literal snake with a penchant for bad advice, or a more profound representation of internal or external forces that lead us astray? The enduring power of the Adam and Eve story lies in its ability to provoke these deep questions and offer a framework for understanding humanity's place in the cosmos. Adam and Eve in comparative mythology. The story of Adam and Eve, while central to Judeo-Christian traditions, echoes in surprising ways across the global mythological landscape. Many cultures have their own creation myths featuring a first man and woman, sometimes with strikingly similar narratives, and sometimes with wildly different twists. It's like a cosmic game of telephone, where the core idea of humanity's origin gets retold with local flavor. Consider the Babylonian epic of Gilgamesh. While not a direct Adam and Eve parallel, it features Enkidu, a wild man created by the gods to challenge the king. He lives among animals until a temple prostitute, Shamhat, seduces him, civilizing him and introducing him to human ways. This act of a divine-molded being awakened to humanity through a primal relationship bears a curious resemblance to the Genesis account, albeit with less emphasis on divine punishment and more on the taming of the wild. Then there's the Greek myth of Prometheus, who, along with his brother Epimetheus, was tasked with creating humankind. Prometheus, a clever trickster god, fashioned humans from clay, breathing life into them. While there isn't a direct Eve figure here, the idea of a divine craftsman shaping the first humans from the earth is a recurring motif. The Greeks also had Pandora, the first woman, whose curiosity unleashed evils upon the world from a jar. a cautionary tale about female agency and its consequences that shares a thematic thread with Eve's role in the Garden of Eden. Even in Polynesian traditions, you find stories of the first man and woman. In some Maori legends, Tain Mahata, the god of forests and birds, forms the first woman, Hainahuon, from the earth itself. He breathes life into her nostrils, and they become the progenitors of humankind. This motif of earth as womb and divine breath as life is remarkably consistent across disparate cultures, suggesting a fundamental human fascination with our origins and the very essence of what it means to be alive. It seems the idea of a first couple is a universal storytelling trope, a way for humanity to grapple with its beginnings. Archaeological and anthropological perspectives. Scientists haven't unearthed Adam and Eve's birth certificates from a prehistoric dig site, which, let's be honest, would be pretty anticlimactic. However, anthropology and archaeology offer fascinating glimpses into the idea of humanity's beginnings. Think of it like this. Instead of finding a specific couple, we're looking at the broader picture of how early humans lived, interacted, and told stories about where they came from. These fields help us understand the cultural and biological roots that might have inspired such foundational myths. Consider the spread of human populations across the globe. Genetic studies, a branch of anthropology, show us how humans migrated out of Africa, branching out like a giant, ancient family tree. While this doesn't point to a single, original pair in a literal garden, it does highlight a shared ancestry for all of us. It's like finding out your distant cousin lives on the other side of the world. It emphasizes connection, even if you don't know their exact great-great-great-grandparent. Archaeological discoveries, like ancient tools and cave paintings, paint a picture of early human life. These finds show us how our ancestors organized themselves, how they developed language and culture, and how they grappled with the big questions of life and death. The stories they told, passed down through generations, often involved explanations for the world around them, including their own origins. These myths, like the Adam and Eve story, serve to make sense of existence and establish social norms. So, while we can't pinpoint Adam and Eve in the fossil record, these scientific disciplines offer a different kind of treasure. They reveal the deep history of human ingenuity, our capacity for storytelling, and our shared journey as a species. It's a grand, ongoing investigation into what it means to be human, from our earliest beginnings to the present day, proving that our origins are far more complex and intriguing than a simple tale might suggest. Linguistic analysis of their names. The names Adam and Eve, far from being simple labels, carry a fascinating linguistic heritage that offers clues about their original meanings and cultural context. In Hebrew, the name Adam is closely related to the word for earth or ground, Adamah. This connection suggests that Adam was conceived as being of the earth, a being formed from the very soil. It's a bit like saying someone is grounded, but in a much more literal and perhaps dusty sense. This etymological link highlights a fundamental aspect of the creation story, humanity's connection to the terrestrial world. Eve's name, Shava, in Hebrew, is similarly rich in meaning. It is linked to the verb to live or to give life, chaya. This association makes Eve the mother of all living things, a title that perfectly encapsulates her role in the biblical narrative. The sound of her name, Shava, even evokes a sense of breath or vital energy. So, while Adam was earth, Eve was life itself, a dynamic counterpart to his grounded origins. It's a beautiful linguistic pairing, where one name speaks of origins in the dust and the other of the vibrant spark of existence. Furthermore, the linguistic relationship between Adam and Adamah might have served as an early form of wordplay or a mnemonic device, reinforcing the idea of humanity's earthly origins. Scholars have explored how ancient languages often intertwine concepts through shared root words, and this is a prime example. The very sound and structure of the names were designed to convey deep theological and cosmological ideas. It's a clever bit of ancient linguistic engineering, making the story more memorable and meaningful. The interpretation of these names also evolved across different translations and traditions. While the Hebrew roots are foundational, the Greek Septuagint translated Adam as Adam and Eve as Zoe, meaning life, further emphasizing the life-giving aspect of Eve. Later traditions and interpretations have continued to explore these nuances, but the core connection to earth for Adam and life for Eve remains a powerful and enduring element of their linguistic identity. It's a testament to how language can hold layers of meaning revealed over centuries, theological and philosophical ramifications. The story of Adam and Eve, while seemingly a simple tale, opens up a cosmic can of worms regarding free will and the origin of evil. If God created everything, including Adam and Eve, and knew they would disobey, was their choice truly free? This quandary has theologians and philosophers scratching their heads more than a monkey with an itch. Some argue that God, in his infinite wisdom, allowed for the possibility of disobedience to grant genuine freedom. It's like baking a cake with the option to add salt instead of sugar. The baker knows it could go wrong, but the choice is yours, making the sweet victory or salty disaster all the more meaningful. This perspective suggests that genuine love and obedience can only exist if there's a real alternative, a concept that makes dating much more complicated, wouldn't you agree? Then there's the whole original sin thing. The idea that Adam and Eve's slip-up somehow tainted all of humanity is a heavy burden to carry. It's like one person dropping a whole tray of cookies, and suddenly everyone in the room is blamed for the crumbs. This concept raises questions about fairness. Are we born inherently flawed because of something our great-great-great, add a few more greats, grandparents did? It's a theological head-scratcher that has led to diverse interpretations, from a literal inherited guilt to a more symbolic understanding of human nature's propensity for error. Think of it as a cosmic family inheritance. Some get a fancy mansion, others get a mountain of debt and a questionable taste in fashion. Furthermore, the narrative forces us to grapple with the nature of knowledge and innocence. Was ignorance truly bliss? The serpent's offer of the fruit of knowledge presented a trade-off: blissful ignorance for understanding. By choosing knowledge, Adam and Eve gained awareness of good and evil, shame and mortality. This pivotal moment suggests that true understanding often comes at a cost, a lesson many of us learn the hard way. It's a bit like deciding to read the end of a book first. You know the outcome, but you miss the journey, the suspense, and the delightful plot twists. The story, therefore, becomes a profound exploration of what it means to be human, complete with all the messy, complicated, and sometimes painful awareness that entails. So, Adam and Eve, were they the OG couple, or just a really early PR stunt? We've explored the forbidden fruit, the snake's surprisingly good sales pitch, and the epic eviction notice. Whether you see it as a divine blueprint or a timeless tale of choices, it's a story that's shaped how we think about, well, everything. What do you think was the real lesson? Let us know in the comments. And if you're curious about other ancient stories that might have gotten lost in translation, stick around. Next time, we're diving into the wild world of the Nephilim. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating deep dives.